Hello, this is Malorian, and this is going to be a 3,000 point game of my Dwarves up against some Orcs. And this is going to be another Skype game, and it's up against James from the Tale of Four Geeks, off in England. And again, I think it's a great podcast. I have the link for it down here, and I think you should go check it out. So the game here that we got was the Battle for the Pass, which made me feel a little bit bad for him, but I'm not going to be going and deploying at the very back edge. You can see that I'm a little bit forward there, not as far as I could be, but I'm not going to be a total jerk. But what I got going on my list is I have 20 Thunderers, I have 20 Quarrelers, Organ Gun, Cannon, one of them Flaming, Grudge Thrower with +2 Strength. Then I have 20 Hammerers. I have 40 Warriors with great weapons. They're the ones you can see in Horde formation right now. Then I have 45 Warriors that have shields. In there I have a BSB that has, a 1+ armor, +1 strength. He has Master Rune Challenge. And then I also have the Anvil of Doom. And in there I have 3 runes where it's basically a Dispel Scroll. Up against me here is the list that he made up, and he has, going from bottom to top, Wolf Chariot, a Ragnarok, the 6 Trolls there. Then he has his Immortals, because he has Grimgor in there. Behind them he has some Night Goblins. Inside the woods he has a Chukka. It's actually turned out to be a Venomous Thicket. Then inside he has some Night Goblins, but in there he has 4 bosses with great weapons, plus he has a BSB with a 2+ save and a great weapon. Then he has his Orc Biggins with extra Choppa. In there he has his level 4 that has the Fincher Blades and a 4+ ward. And then on the far side he has a Nether Chariot, and then behind there he has the Squigs. There's 18 of them and 6 handlers, and there's actually another Chukka there as well. For the terrain, what we got there is, it's the minimum. I only rolled a 1, but the stone at the bottom here by the Ragnarok, that's the one where it's a +1 to wound. The one at the top, that's the Elven Waystone, so +1 to channel. The building is the Haunted Mansion, and for the most part, most of these didn't play in account. I think we rolled for the Haunted Mansion maybe once or twice, but really I just didn't think it was fair, and I just didn't even bring it up after that point. So really how this is going to go is who knows who's going to go first, but I also have 21 miners coming on. But what I have here going on is I kind of set up my units just right so that if he moves up 8 inches, all my Thunderers and my Organ Guns are going to be able to shoot at them. So really I need to take down my high priority targets, which are things like the Ragnarok, that could be getting fastening to the side. I really got to start killing these biggins, and even though the Immortals are a big worry, I plan to hit them with the Anvil, slow them down, and then hopefully redirect them. But we're going to see how the battle goes, because of course he has Hand of Gork and stuff like that, so he could go through. And here's just a close-up of my army, so you can kind of see, better where things are. I really do love my Dwarves. I just usually love being more aggressive more, so that's why I usually bring out my Orcs. And here's a little close-up of his lines, and, I've already gone over what he has here. So, as luck would have it, he got to go first, which will help him out. And he did have a little bit of animosity issue. His Squig Herd did roll a double 1, but at that point everybody else had already tested, so they couldn't fight with anybody. They were just kind of stuck there. I should also say that his Black Orcs also have the banner of +1 leadership, which is going to help because he rolled a few 10s for stupidity tests, but of course because of that he was all fine. And really at this point he was just moving up. I think he threw 6 dice at either Foot of Gork or Hand of Gork, but I just used a scroll to stop it. He did some shooting at me with the Chukkas and they missed. My first turn, you can see, was pretty damn deadly. The biggins decimated. I had a flaming cannon that went through a troll, and then actually I just lined it up like that just in case, but it actually did have a far bounce and destroyed one of the chariots there, so that's always cool. And then I also went and did the anvil to the Black Orcs, so they'll be slower. His turn 2, and he rolls double 1 for animosity again, but this time it was before the other ones have tested, so now both this Night Goblin unit and the biggins won't be moving. And it's just, it was kind of funny because at this point we were just talking about how, one of the joys of playing Orcs and Goblins is you never know what's going to happen, and you just have to kind of like take it as it comes, and then boom, you get to see this double 1. So otherwise, he does as good as he can, moving up the other units. The one Night Goblins that are behind the Black Orcs are kind of moving in to kind of take up the spot there. The Arachnarok are zipping around the house. They can start threatening a flank, and then his Chuckas miss. And he gets no magic phase because he failed Animosity. My turn 2, the miners don't come in, and it's another deadly one. I am able to destroy the chariot, I kill more of the biggins, I start dedicating some shooting into the Black Orcs just to kind of whittle them down, because now I can see that, I won't be able to stop them forever because of him getting the first turn, and because, with other stuff staying behind, they're now turning into the biggest threat. My cannons were also able to kill the Arachnarok. I got pretty lucky with the number of wounds, rolling a 3 and then a 6. And of course then the anvil hits the Black Orcs to slow them down again. His turn 3, and again, Animosity, at least there was a thing like in the first turn where it happened after, so they couldn't fight with him. But again, the Squigs rolled double 1s, and so there's nobody to fight with. But just for the record, this is 3 turns in a row with double 1 Animosity issues. It's just insane what happened here. The Trolls try to charge the Quarrelers. They need an 8. I decide to take it, I shoot at them, and they fail. Just so you know, the way that I set up my lines is so that the shooters are in the front, and then when it actually was a serious charge, I would be fleeing, pop over the block, and then rally behind to be kind of like a second wave of fighters after. Because, there's still 20 that have 3 ranks. Anyway, so that's a failure, did a couple of wounds there. I shut down his magic phase with a scroll, and his Chuckas miss. My turn, I have my miners come in, and I'd love to have them come in from the side and anvil in, but because of the battle for the pass, I can't do that, so they're going to be coming over to kind of support the hammerers. Otherwise, in my shooting, I'm able to destroy the trolls, kill more of the biggins, do a little bit more to the Black Orcs, and again, the anvil's keeping them slow. His turn 4, pretty straightforward. He's just moving up as best he can. Now it's going to be fight time, but, he tries to do foot a Gork or hand a Gork. I go and use my last scroll on it, and that's really the turn. My turn then, with my shooting, I completely wipe out the biggins. My cannons then go and try and kill the his shaman there. One of the things I forgot to mention is I think that one of my organ guns exploded on like the first or second turn, so that one of those are gone. But otherwise, I'm just waiting to take the charges here, starting to shoot more into the Black Orcs, killing some more of them, and just, now it's going to be fight time. So turn 5, he charges in his shaman into the organ gun. In that combat, he kills 2 of my guys. I didn't do a wound to him. He cast some spell. That was Hand of Gork, because his Black Orcs go to charge, what was it? First he charged the Quarrelers, and I fled, and then he redirected into my Hammerers, or my Miners, or it must have been the Hammers, and then failed. So then he rolled Hand of Gork, Irresistible Force that went through. It was just the 3d6 one, and he rolled 1-1-2, so didn't go too far. The Night Goblins had charged the Thunderers. I fled. Then he redirected into my unit there, and man, did that kick my butt. I challenged with my BSB to take one of his units out, or one of his champions, right, his heroes. Wasn't able to kill him because I'm netted. But geez, just remember, Night Goblins have hatred against dwarves. So when you have that many hatred great weapon attacks, he won combat, I wasn't steadfast, he ran me down. So things are getting interesting. My turn 5, and what I did here is, using a little bit of anvil shenanigans, is I reformed my warriors to be 5 wide and facing the flank of the Night Goblins. Then I had to move my trolls, or my trolls, my cannon back to make room. Both my units rallied, by the way, and then I used the anvil to charge into the flank of the Night Goblins, figuring that, with all the combat res and stuff like that, I'll easily win. Was I mistaken. His warriors, his heroes come over, and they do 11 wounds to me. 11! He actually ends up winning combat. I hold, and then he reforms to face me, but I couldn't believe it. Otherwise, I'm setting it up so that he's going to charge my hammers, and then I'm going to counter with my miners. But, all this is starting to turn around pretty fast. With my shooting, I put my shooting as best I could into the Black Orcs. By this point, I didn't really have much to really dedicate. His turn 6, he has the Night Goblins charge into the organ gun with the Shaman. They then beat me, overrun, get into the other combat, and man, did that have me scared. Luckily now, with Hatred being gone and me having some easier Night Goblins to kill, and I've now killed a few of his big bosses, I had lost by 3 only, and was able to hold, so that was pretty lucky. He was able, with Hand of Gork, with Irresistible Force, to put those squigs right in my face so that I can't use my Quarrelers to, or my Thunderers to flank him. Otherwise, I had to kind of make a choice, because he actually charged my Hammerers, and seeing as how everything was going to hell, I was actually wondering if I should actually flee and then make it so the Black Orcs never saw combat, but I thought, no, let's take this. As you see, he killed a bunch of me, I killed a bunch back. He won, I'm stubborn, and then he actually reformed to be facing the miners just because, he wanted more attacks against them, and, hopefully he will kill enough hammerers so that I won't even be taking away his ranks. Although one thing he forgot about when he had this plan is he's actually standing in a forest right now. So my turn 6, I have the Quarrelers flank the Night Goblins. In that fight there, I beat them, and the one unit breaks, and I'm stuck here with the other one. Well, really, I could have I chased him with the Quarrelers, but didn't catch him, and now I'm in combat here. I was able to beat the Black Orcs. They broke, and I wasn't able to catch them. And then, man, I kind of really dropped the ball here because my Thunderers just shot the hell out of the squigs that are in front of me, and they had then just one handler left. And remember, if I kill that last handler, it explodes and I get all the points. But, then I didn't know what to do with my cannon. By the way, my cannon lost a couple of guys because his Chukka finally killed 2 of mine. I shot one of his Chukkas, killed just 2 of their handlers. And then I realized, what am I doing? I can be grape shotting, either into his Great Shaman or into this unit. And so I grape shot with one cannon, didn't manage to kill the guy, used the anvil on it, didn't manage to kill the last handler, so no points there, but that's the game. So at the end of the day, it was a victory for the Dwarves. I mean, he got some points from me, but he just didn't get enough. And of course, I had some big, huge points from him from killing all those things coming in with my shooting. But whereas the first couple of turns, I was just pounding him and starting to feel bad for him. I mean, as soon as he got to me, man, it was a different story. It's been a long time since I've used my Night Goblins with the big bosses, having changed over to going to more reliable orc units, so I don't need to worry about leadership and people killing my bosses. But after seeing how deadly they were here, I'm pretty tempted to bring them back in. I've gained new respect for them again. But either way, I asked him, like, oh, was it pretty disheartening having to go through 4 turns of being shot at before he got to combat? And he was like, you know what, it was just the way it is. He knew that once he got to me, he was going to get to punch in some face, and that's what happened. But anyway, there you go, and hope you like watching it. Bye.